Next, we're going to have an icebreaker. Introduction is very, very simple. This is a brief look into Matt Landeman's life and his speech entitled The Rubber Room. Please welcome Toastmasters, Matt Landeman.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
I'll try not to be abusive to the English language during this speech, but can't make any promises. Let's go back to the second grade. For some, that is longer than others. But if you can't remember, small hard desks, seats pushed in, the top of the desk flip open, chalk dust in the air, female teacher sits in front of the room trying to control the class. Okay, class, let's pull out our books for reading. I quickly raise my hand. Yes, Matt, she says. Can I go to the bathroom? No, Matt. Why is it every time we're about to read, you have to go to the bathroom? I don't know, but this time I really have to go. How about you start us off reading, and you can go to the bathroom after. I slowly reach into my desk like the book was on fire. My hands started to sweat, the pit in the stomach, just like I feel right now. I was trying to think of any excuse, but I was trapped, like a cat burglar, caught red-handed. The spotlight was on me, and I was about to be exposed again. Thinking about the last time this happened, the class couldn't stop laughing at me. Over the years, the comments have stuck with me like a nail in my head. As I stood, I looked at those pages. I wanted the words to come out, but I just sat there. The class started laughing, and I could feel the pressure build like a volcano about to explode. The teacher interrupted the laughter. Class, quiet down. Matt, keep reading. I decided I was done. I slammed the book down, turned it shut, threw it like a frisbee. It hit the chalkboard, wham. At this point, I knew something was wrong, but it wasn't until the end of the 5th grade that I would be diagnosed with dyslexia. My icebreaker will be about some of my childhood experiences and how that journey brought me here. My punishment for disrupting the class over and over was being sent to the rubber room. The rubber room in Beverly, Mass. was the special needs room in the 5th floor. It was actually in the attic, the only classroom up there, and it was extra large because you never knew how many kids were going to be in there. They built a bathroom up there so we couldn't wander, and they had the teacher with an emergency phone just in case anything happened. You know, most of the time it was about 15 to 20 kids from 2nd to 5th grade, and we all struggled from different things. No one knew why we were all up there. We just all knew we were in there. Some people had good parents, some bad parents. Some people's parents fought for them, some didn't. Luckily, my parents were one of those people that fought for me. 40% of American inmates have learning disabilities. And so a lot of my classmates ended up in prison. I have 2 classmates that were convicted of murder, a few other career criminals, and I really do feel blessed that I've been able to sit here and talk in front of you. The rubber room wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. You got hit with spitballs, things were always flying, you could get punched in the face for something you said, but it was just kind of this culture that you got used to. We'd hang out up there, we'd throw pencils at the ceiling, no one really cared about anything else. Every once in a while you actually get sent down with the normal kids, and you have to go in front of a class, get insulted, laughed at, embarrassed, and then sent back to the rubber room. And luckily no one cared about nouns, verbs, adjectives, you know, anything. Actually, sometimes you'd get a spitball for just being too smart. So, you know, it wasn't really worth it. At this time, I had another family thing going on. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. So there was other distractions in my family. My dad was a principal, a doctor of English. For 27 years, he was a middle school principal. And obviously, he was having troubles for why his son wasn't able to figure things out. But they decided I was dumb instead of actually having learning disabilities. So on and on, I pushed through the rubber room. In the 5th grade, they tried to put me back into normal education because they decided the rubber room wasn't doing me any favors. And about halfway through, they learned that I was illiterate. I had no chance of reading, and they threw me back in the rubber room because I wasn't able to keep up with the class. So 5th and 6th grade, my dad taught me how to read. That summer was a very long summer. Wasn't very comfortable, but we spent every day reading. And that's really what you deal with dyslexia. It's a lot of repetition, right? The best way I've been told what dyslexia is we all have brain matter on top of our brain. If you're dyslexic, your brain matter doesn't fill your head, so some of those messages don't go through. And that's kind of what it feels like. You can stand there and you can have all the answers, but it just isn't coming. And you're sitting there and you're kind of just holding your breath, hoping something's going to come out, because you know it's in there somewhere. Over the years, you kind of deal with different things and understanding of, well, this isn't going to come too easy. This isn't going to be something that you really understand. But you get tired of hearing that, right? You don't want to be put in a corner. You don't want people to say, you're not smart enough. And unfortunately, in society, we judge people by how we read, speak, write, math skills. And truthfully, those are exactly what dyslexia affects, right? So you automatically get categorized into this position of not being good enough. So your whole life, you're trying to figure out why. And you also try to hide from situations why you feel you're not good enough. One for me was reading. Having to stand up in front of people was always terrifying. And I honestly do. My hands are sweaty. The pit in the stomach exists. It's just what it is. That's why I had to find Toastmasters. I came here because I feel like this is Weight Watchers for my brain. I fought it for a long time and not the right way, and never have been comfortable with it. So, Toastmasters, I know most of my speeches will not be smooth or elegant, but I'm going to keep climbing and keep fighting until I get to the top of that mountain, and thank you.